Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, Chow, and in today's episode, we're going to cover some Japanese art books. Now, again, back in the day, when information was really hard to get on, animes and that kind of stuff, especially things like images and more additional information about the anime that's not available that you could have just got off of the TV program and that kind of stuff. Even artwork and that kind of stuff is really hard to get. So the key thing that we needed to get was art books or reference books or whatever that came out from Japan to basically serve this need that we had. So basically, if you'd watched a really popular show like Gundam or something, for example, if you wanted to get more information about it, you want to get some artwork, maybe how to draw and that kind of stuff, you went to get a book about Gundam. And then you can get all the mecha design, more extended pictures, explanation about how some of the mechanics and that kind of stuff, and how the story even comes together. And that's kind of the research you need to make sure that the information that you're getting is is complete or is according to the source. We're going to go through some of these books and give you an idea what's inside them and give you kind of a feel of what these books are all about. Because again, in the modern era, we don't really use these kind of books and this kind of stuff to get our information about animes. So that's something that's a little different, okay? So before I begin, I'd like to remind you when you go down below, click like and click subscribe. Leave a comment about some of your favorite books and that kind of stuff that you have in your collection. All this stuff helps the YouTube algorithm recommend this video. As well as I do also have the Patreon and PayPal available if you want to support me financially. As well as I've now got the instructions and different lists available for all, if you're interested in trying to do an old-fashioned media trade. All that information is now available on the Patreon, so you can go there and you can look at the information as well. You can sign up if you like. You don't even have to go to any of the tiers if you don't want to. You can just sign up as a free membership, and again, get all that information and the links and the lists if you want to give that a try, just for nostalgia kind of situation. If you've been and have participated in the past with an anime giveaway, and you like to get more of that kind of stuff, maybe music videos or some fan subbed anime or whatever, you want to see what it's kind of like, all that stuff is available on the list. You can go through them and see what tickles your fancy, as it were. So, again, this episode is about art and art books and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go through some physical art books, from the past, and just give you an idea of what these kind of art books entail and what they include. And maybe if this happens to be one of your favorite animes and you want to see if you search this out, maybe you can then go through and pick out these art books wherever you can. As I said, some of the market on them is kind of hard to get and kind of pricey on some of them, but definitely some of these art books are really, really, really nice. And I argue that some of the pictures and the artwork that are in them are still probably really, really valuable now. The fact that because it's just even though there's so much stuff out there, trying to get the right pictures and sometimes get the right resolution is really difficult, even now in today's technology and today's society on the internet. Definitely these books I definitely have a true good purpose for that, especially again if you really are really interested in a particular anime and things puzzle you or whatever, and you want to get a little bit more. Definitely these art books can offer things like interviews and background information and whatnot that just really kind of might answer some of those questions and some of those lines of thought and that kind of stuff that went into a lot of these animes when you get the interviews with from the actual creators and that kind of stuff. It's a whole different angle that sometimes people miss out a lot on. Okay, so without further delay, let's go into some art books.
The next book I want to cover is this one here. It's called The Bubblegum Crisis BG Art 89 Only. Okay, this is made by the B Club comic series. Okay, it is more primarily used for the film story. Okay, so the actual what's actually in the actual story, like in terms of so this is Revenge Road. So lots of basically selves and that in a comic like form, right? For that. What it also has later on is more funny goof around manga, because that's what B Club does, special methods has. So it has kind of funny little clips on some of them, and more sort of information about that. There's a kind of a little funny goofy story about her getting live. So it's more supplemental and more joking around stories and more kind of alternate story. It does contain some information. So this is the for Revenge Road. More detailed information about that. Again, highly detailed information about the Highway Star project and that kind of stuff. And you just see how much technical information that they actually go through this. And again, this is what people wanted at this time because it was so cool. This entire cyberpunk-ish like kind of era, the tech and that kind of stuff. Everyone wanted to know more about this stuff. So these books, were really heavy on this particular type of thing. They also took care of this one. This is the Bubblegum Crisis Crime Wave game. So again, you can see some of the things that they adapted, as well as obviously figurines from Hobby Japan and that kind of stuff. How they actually made all that kind of stuff. Okay, even life-size hard suits for Nene and that kind of stuff, and Pris's hard suit and that kind of stuff. You can see how they actually made life scale model for them for for the VA and that kind of stuff. So here's the film story for part 5, which is Moonlight Rambler. Okay. So again, the same thing, comic thing, and of course then the design board for so all information, pictures for like Sylvie and some of the ships and that kind of stuff. So again, this is sort of like again the middle part of the series, okay, and then of course they have these books here, which is always handy because then they always tell you, hey, if you like this kind of material, you can also buy the Artemic Design Works, which is again at this time early works of them, which includes Megazone 23 and all that kind of stuff. And of course, the first volume of the Bubblegum Crisis sort of novel-ish OEVA covering book like that kind of thing. So this is kind of like the prequel for this particular type of book. Okay, but again, at the time we were really starved for information for this, and these books are really, really valuable for us to get this kind of stuff. Again, they're really pretty expensive. I mean, they weren't that expensive per se. I mean, it's only 9,800 yen, so about $9.80 US if you kind of do the conversion and all that kind of stuff. But at the time, we probably had to pay $20 to get these things because usually by the time you get it from Japan and you get it shipped over here, it probably takes forever, but it's also lots and lots of shipping costs and duty and that kind of stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me that it would probably cost me closer to $20 to actually buy this back in the day. But again, yes. So another really good book for Bubblegum Crisis, the BG Art 89 only. The next one I'm going to show is essentially that book that was in there. So this is the first revised version of that. So it's a B Club film comic, and it's Bubblegum Crisis. And again, it was shown in the the tail end of the other book. Again, this is what it is. So it again has pictures and that kind of stuff of what the actual show is. So this is the first book. So this is Bubblegum Crisis 1, and you can see different making of. Explanations and that kind of stuff for this, for the series. A little bit more detail of that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is now kits and that kind of stuff. So fancy artwork and that stuff using the models and that kind of stuff on that. So again, a lot of posing and how they made like the hard suit. This is gonna be a hard suit and how they made the versus handgun, kind of hard suit gear for that, for the head helmet. Okay. And then again, more detailed information about their environment, the weapons, okay, the motive slaves, of course. There's different. There's an AD police helicopter, and then now you're going to the second one. This is Bubblegum Crisis Born to Kill. Again, same thing. Film star at the beginning with lots of the clips and stuff from the show. More kind of breakdown of the show itself. And pictures and that kind of stuff. Okay. And then of course, this is always the fun part is the sort of the conversation interview section. Okay. And so you get to interview the girls. Okay. Obviously, they're sort of a question and answer sort of thing. And you can find lots of little interesting information about all the things. So again, you can see each of the voice character VAs here. In each individual type of thing, okay, doing the rest of voices and that kind of stuff, so you can get the other, okay. Part 3, of course, is Blow Up. Okay, so again, film story, more explanation about the actual show, and then some basically more file kind of information about the backgrounds, and of course some excellent stuff as well. Okay, and of course preview of the next ones that they're doing. Yeah, preview of Bubblegum is in 1988, so this is the end of what they're doing, right? So it's the next volume is coming out is volume 5, Moonlight Rambler. And of course, they're already making the Hurricane live, so again, getting the VAs, basically the girls over here, getting them on stage and getting them to sing Bubblegum Crisis songs, right? Things like that is what that's all about. So again, and yeah, about the same thing, 9,800 yen. So again, these two books are from the B Club special. In terms of film comic, probably covers the series really well. And again, the other two that I showed, which is the file ones, covers more information about Bubblegum Crisis more so than not. But again, a set of these ones, the absolute the best books for this series, Bubblegum Crisis. Okay, the next one is this one here. In terms of B Club film comic kind of books. The next really big one that came out for this time period was the one that they made for Appleseed. Okay, so again, like the Bubblegum Crisis ones, it has a little bit of live action, Appleseed here. Okay, and it's just sort of would be kind of neat if they actually made this kind of a thing, in the initial beginning, because this footage would have been pretty cool for a live action Appleseed thing, right? But again, so when they go into the OVAs, again, into a film comic type of thing, explaining things as the story goes on, right? So different frames and that stuff, as the story goes on, it goes through and goes over different things. Now, when we get to this middle part here, we get into the characters. So, describing Barrios here, Dunan, okay, so it's just kind of all the different things like geese, right? So the hierarchy chart, as it were. Okay, and so yeah, it's just different information about the actual settings of that, the mechanical designs and that kind of stuff, or what they end up designing for characters and that kind of stuff. And then sure, right at the very end, they also added a little bit for Blackmagic M66, right? Because again, same kind of same art design. Put it kind of things. They decided to put a little bit of that kind of information in there as well. Not really, not perfectly related or anything like that, but it's just sort of like these are things that sort of that came out simultaneously. So more about the mangas and that kind of stuff here. The Appleseed thing. It's kind of interesting that they actually made a reference to the Appleseed comics from Eclipse Comics. So this is, remember, the original. Initial release. One of the releases, I guess you can say, along with all of the stuff that Eclipse did at the very beginning. Psychic Girl Mai, Area 88, and things like that. They actually made a note in this Japanese magazine that they got an English version of the comic being released by Eclipse Comics, and it actually has the postal code for Eclipse Comics right here, and it shows that this is what the English version looks like, right? Right. So they basically took. What it ended up looking like from there, from original settings from this stuff there. So it's kind of interesting that they got at least a mention that way. Again, making a note that they have this kind of thing here. Again, so you notice that this book is really heavily more done for the information and more things from the TV series and that kind of stuff. They also made this a separate book right here. This is what they call Character Goods. You can see that they also made a Appleseed book. Okay, in the same series as the Bubblegum Crisis ones, but these are things that you can kind of look at that. And then of course this is the making of the Prelude film. So remember the live thing that they showed at the beginning here. The special prelude, yeah, they have the information about how they made that here as well, and that would have been pretty cool. It's just too bad they didn't make like an actual movie like that. Maybe in the future they'll have something like that. Okay. Anyway, and of course they put the advertisement for the album or the soundtrack, and the soundtrack for this is actually pretty good too. It's had some nice dramatic music into it, as well as the ending theme song was pretty good too. So again, in the series of the B Club film comic, the Appleseed book. Okay, the next one I got here is for Slayers. Okay, this is these two books here. Okay, I've got are for made by Dragon Magazine. So again, a lot of stuff from Dragon Magazine promoted here, and it's the Arazumi sort of art book for that. Okay, so we'll start with this one first. Okay, and this one is really nice because again, like all the things it has like these huge posters and that kind of stuff. Okay. And it's for Slayer special. So again, a lot of focus on the various different types of pictures and that stuff from Lena Inverse. So both painted drawings by the by the artist for mostly things like manga covers, the promo pictures inside Dragon magazine. Okay, there's Naga. So, pictures of Naga and all the various other characters. But some of them, again, some of them alternate pictures, and some of them again, from the CD covers and that kind of stuff, as well as the promotional things that they've done for that series. And you just see that, again, just a variety of stuff that they've used, and those insert pictures that they use for the novels. I recognize a few of them there. And some of them, the advert comedy that is in these things. So again, this is sort of a nice sort of Slayers art book there. Okay, now this one is more designed. Okay, also same company, right? Dragon Magazine, but this one's more designed for Slayer's Great, right? Which is the movie. Okay, and again, nice sort of posters and that kind of stuff in here. Okay. Nice poster type of thing that they have at the beginning here, and then basically, so covers a whole bunch of different characters and different parts of the actual that breast physics, but different things about the actual show here. Okay, so questions that they're asking on that in the front part here, and commenting about different situations, I should say, so without letting too much information out there. But so now and then we get into all the different media and that kind of stuff that comes out for Slayers. So the OVAs, the videos, the series and that kind of stuff. So for the regular Slayers, Slayers Next, Slayers Try, Slayers Returns, the Slayers RPG, things like that. Different sort of music and that kind of stuff released for the series. Again, Mega Mahashibar does the music for it, so this is her CD single for Reflection. Okay, character designs for various different types of characters for all the various series there. Yeah, backgrounds. Okay, this is the OVA release information. Okay. So, more voice actor interviews and that kind of stuff. Staff interviews. So again, the director and other internal staff for that. Lots of joking around comics and that kind of stuff here. Okay. And of course, sort of background sort of information for the character. And then of course, a lot of information about the novels and that kind of stuff is in the back part here. Okay. So this is a good, great sort of information thing for the movie edition of Slayers. But again, two nice, really good books for covering a lot of the materials that is all Slayers. Again, good for both information and good for pictures.
Okay, I hope you found that really interesting. And again, I've got boxes upon boxes of these kind of art books in storage. And I'm going to basically go through some of the more different ones and that kind of stuff, just to give you an idea that of what kind of stuff came out and different animes that were covered with these books. Just because no one really talks about these things again, because a lot of people don't even have them, or don't have access to them because these are some of these things are well over 20, 30 years old now. And to find them even is a really difficult task, okay? Because it's just there's just none of that stuff around anymore, right? But So again, we'll have more episodes. Do check back, and we will put more up for you so that you can see what some of your favorite animes from the past have put out. Right. So until next time, I will see you again.